All right. So today I'm gonna tell you about one of the most underrated boxers of all time, Joe Frazier. In the 1960s and 70s, all you heard about was Muhammad Ali, but no one has ever heard of Joe Frazier that I know, who just by comedy of boxing. So Joe Frazier, he grew up in a small town, a small county down in South Carolina, sharecrop farming, cotton, corn, sugarcane, and at a very young age, his dad lost one of his arms in a shooting accident. So Joe immediately had become one of his right hand mans, just helping on the farm, just to doing everything. Even running moonshine. Before Joe could reach the pedals on a car, he learned to drive by running moonshine with his dad. So this all carried on. He was helping him out, growing up, stepping up, being a man on the farm at a young age. And then the rumor came around that, not really the rumor, but more of the opinion that Joe Frazier had the same build of a previous Olympic gold medalist boxer, that he had the same build as him. So Joe took that to heart. So he went up to his mom, banging, wants to box, has to box. And mom said no. So they came to the conclusion that Joe didn't box, but he could make a punching bag and he'd string it up on a tree and he could work it for 1 hour every day. That's it. The other time went to farming, working. That was it for them. They grew up poor. They needed all the money they can. So Joe went on back towards the shed. He got a cotton sack. He got dirt, moss. He got corn husks and bricks. I think I said bricks. So he got all that. He strung up the yard, worked it, like I said, 1 hour every day, beating the bag. So he got to be older, and Joe's around 15 when he decided he wanted to go to New York. His family didn't really approve of it, but they could work their way. It was okay if he left because they had it under control there. So for those reasons, Joe moved to New York with his aunt and his uncle, where he actually worked in a butcher shop, ran around town for exercise, and this guy was literally like Rocky Balboa in the movies. Running up and down the street, like I just said, he would wake up, run to work. He would have the meat slabs of cattle in quarters or halves, and he would box them, beating them, practicing, working on knuckles. While he also he didn't work, but he was a boxing partner for one of the Olympic boxers that was going. There was 12 Olympic boxers that the USA had on their team. The one that Joe was sparring with had broken his thumb while boxing with Joe. And seeing how the USA boxing team couldn't find anybody else, Joe was a substitute and the man they took to Tokyo in the Olympics. So Joe got over there to the Olympics. 12 people, none of them took home anything. Joe gets to the semifinal rounds and he breaks his thumb and fractures his fist. Joe doesn't say anything to the refs. He knows that they will disqualify him. So he just toughs it up. He finishes that semifinal round in boxing. He moves on to the final rounds. This is the gold medal stage. You win this, you take home the gold for the USA, number one on the stage. Joe gets up there, beats this boxer with a broken thumb and a fractured fist. Brings home the gold. Only USA boxer to bring it home. So Joe comes back and he just starts knocking people down left and right. At this time, Muhammad Ali, he was banned from boxing because he would not go to the war under religious grounds. And Joe, who, he was for Muhammad Ali and his right not to go to the war under religious grounds, and he would even send him money. So in 1970, I believe, the Supreme Court upheld Muhammad Ali's right to not go to war under religious grounds. And then it was on. As the two biggest heavyweight undefeated champions they had so far. It was a fight of the century and some say the rivalry of all sports in general. So the fight's advertised and Muhammad Ali comes out and he's trash talking Joe. Joe gets offensive because Joe had sent him money. He helped him out. They're fairly good friends for the time. And Joe gets mad. Muhammad Ali's kind of like Conor McGregor right now, just kept trash talking. So they decided to get some publicity, take some pictures, and there was supposed to be a scheduled fight to not the actual fight, but just throw some light punches just for the cameras, just so it would look good. So they did that, and they were just kind of messing around. Then, of course, someone had to hit a little bit harder. And Joe hit a little bit harder. Then Muhammad Ali hit a little bit harder. While they're both getting heated in this intense situation, Joe just rears back and punches Muhammad Ali hard right in the stomach, knocks him up against the ropes. Joe walks over to Muhammad Ali, bends over, and says, "That's how it's going to be in the ring." Left it. Joe Frazier would go to bed at night thinking about fighting Muhammad Ali, not get very much sleep. He said he would dream about fighting Muhammad Ali. He said he would wake up in a bed of sweat about dreaming about Muhammad Ali. He believes that he was fighting Muhammad Ali in this fight and just never gave up. So, it comes. Game day. This first fight, there's 3 fights out of Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier walks up there. He said he came out like a truck, just pounding him. And it went on like that for about 8 to 9 rounds. And eventually he started fading. Muhammad Ali took advantage, knocked Joe around quite a bit till about round 11. This went 18 rounds. And it went on and on and on. Joe Frazier ended up knocking out Muhammad Ali, who everyone thought was God. Previously, before this fight, Muhammad Ali got up in Joe Frazier's face. He said, "You can't touch me. I am God." Joe took one step closer, getting his face. He said, "Lord, you're in the wrong place tonight." And that just proved it right there. Joe Frazier just ended one of the most famous heavyweight boxers ever in all history, even today. So time went on, and George Foreman kind of came into the picture. George Foreman, quote, said that he was terrified of Joe Frazier. George Foreman said that he was terrified of Joe Frazier. He said that he was hoping Joe Frazier would die because that's the only chance he would have, that George Foreman would have at winning anything. So it comes up to the fight of George Foreman and Joe Frazier. You know, this is another huge fight, and they come up, and Joe does not have a good fight. George Foreman knocked him down 4 times before his ref threw in the towel. Before Joe Frazier's coaches threw in the towel. Then there was another rematch. Muhammad Ali won the second rematch. It was a split decision. You know, some people say that Joe Frazier won, some people say that Muhammad Ali won, but the decision was Muhammad Ali. Lastly, the fight with Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier took place in the Philippines. Neither were heavyweights. It was basically one last fight between the two of them just to say, you know, who's better. At this point, Joe Frazier was older, beaten up more. He had cataracts. He couldn't see out of one eye. They were fighting in this gym, just giving it all, both of them. And Joe Frazier just never stopped. Boxing with one eye. Muhammad Ali cracked him over his good one. Joe Frazier couldn't see, threw in the towel. Larry Merchant said that good fighters say that everyone always has a good fight in them, and he had him in it that night. I'll leave you with that. Thanks for listening.